On the evening of May 8th, 2025, the world waited in anticipation beneath the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. White smoke had risen. The bells rang out across Rome. A new pope had been chosen. And when he stepped forward to greet the world, he did so with a name that carried powerful echoes from the past, Leo XIV. But why this name? And what does it tell us about the future of the Church, especially in an age defined by artificial intelligence, social disruption, and digital transformation? By invoking the legacy of Pope Leo XIII, the architect of modern Catholic social teaching, the new pontiff is sending a clear signal. The Church must once again provide moral clarity in a time of rapid technological change, just as it did during the First Industrial Revolution. In this video, we explore the deeper meaning behind Pope Leo XIV's choice, the prophetic relevance of Rerum Novarum, and what it all means for the Church's voice in the age of AI. When the new pope stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to address the Catholic faithful on May 8th, his first decision as pope, choosing the papal name Leo, signaled the direction he intended to take in addressing several pressing social issues that require moral guidance, among them artificial intelligence, AI. In his first meeting with the College of Cardinals on May 10th, Pope Leo XIV confirmed that he chose this papal name to honor Pope Leo XIII, whom he said had addressed social issues in the context of the First Great Industrial Revolution through the landmark encyclical Rerum Novarum in the late 1800s. This encyclical, which laid the foundation for Catholic social teaching, may help guide the Church in forming a moral understanding of developments in the field of artificial intelligence, Pope Leo XIV explained, adding that the rise of AI presents new challenges to the protection of human dignity, justice, and labor. In that influential encyclical, Pope Leo XIII steered clear of both socialism and unregulated corporate power, instead advocating cooperation among competing interests centered on human dignity. Pope Leo XIV's remarks suggest that these same principles will shape his approach to modern issues surrounding AI. Foundations of Catholic social teaching. Pope Leo XIII issued Rerum Novarum on May 15, 1891, at a time when workers were struggling under harsh conditions during the Industrial Revolution, and Marxist thinkers were exploiting widespread dissatisfaction to push for radical changes to the social order. At its core, Pope Leo XIII was mainly concerned with presenting a philosophical or theological anthropology focused on the human person and the dignity of labor, said Joseph Grabowski, Vice President of Mission at the Society of Gilbert Keith Chesterton. In the encyclical, Pope Leo XIII wrote that it was necessary to bring the rich and the working class closer together, which could be done by reminding each party of its duties to the other and of the obligations of justice. These obligations included the duty of business owners to respect the dignity of each person as someone ennobled by the quality of being a Christian, and never to exploit people as if they were objects for profit or value them only for their physical strength, Pope Leo XIII taught. Grabowski explained that one of the problems with industrialization was that workers were being treated like machines in factories, and the Pope was reminding employers that people should not be viewed as just cogs in a machine. Pope Leo XIII also defended the right to private property, which he wrote belongs to the man as the head of the family, and criticized Marxist and socialist ideologies, which he said would destroy the social order by turning people against one another and transforming private property into common property for all, managed by the state or municipal bodies. A most sacred law of nature is that the father must provide food and every necessity for the children he has begotten, Pope Leo XIII wrote. And it is also natural that the father wants his children, who continue, so to speak, his own personality, to be provided for with what they need, so they can defend themselves from want and suffering amid the uncertainties of earthly life. Grabowski said that if rerum novarum were to be summed up in one sentence, it would be, the economy exists to serve the human person, not the other way around. Economy, production, and such are essentially about human nature and serve the higher purpose of humanity, he said, which is to reach heaven and to live in a harmonious community with one another. Catholic social teaching and artificial intelligence. Pope Leo XIV's predecessor, the late Pope Francis, had also incorporated key elements of Catholic social teaching in the Church's approach to AI. In December 2023, Pope Francis urged global leaders to govern AI in pursuit of peace and the common good, stressing that innovations must avoid a technocratic dictatorship and instead serve the purpose of human fraternity and peace. In January, the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith issued a 30-page document stating that AI lacks the richness of tangibility, relationality, and the openness of the human heart. The document also suggested that innovation should lead to a renewed appreciation for all things human. Grabowski told CNA that as AI continues to evolve and the Church formalizes its teaching on the new technology, Pope Leo XIV will likely face many of the same concerns that Pope Leo XIII addressed at the dawn of the 20th century. AI is already being integrated into various sectors, including marketing, banking, healthcare, and programming. While its implementation can increase accuracy and efficiency, it also raises concerns that technology might replace human workers in certain roles. A New York Times article published on May 25th noted that some Amazon software developers are complaining that their work has become boring and meaningless because much of their coding has been automated by AI. Meanwhile, other workers have welcomed increased productivity. In healthcare, a Forbes article from October 2024 reported that AI is helping doctors detect anomalies in patients and connect symptoms more effectively, speeding up and improving the accuracy of diagnoses. Commenting on AI's use in medicine, Grabowski said, "There may be benefits to technology helping doctors recognize patterns and offer insights that a human might not see. We don't oppose that," he said, "but like everything else, there needs to be balance." Reflecting some of the complaints heard at Amazon, Grabowski noted that increasing mechanization of labor is worrisome, especially as AI becomes capable of performing creative processes and generating art and literature, developments he called somewhat alarming. There's a concept of the right to meaningful work in the documents of Pope Leo XIII, he added. Another principle from Rerum Novarum that could guide teaching on AI is the emphasis on respect for property, especially productive property, Grabowski said. A growing concern with AI, he added, is respect for intellectual property rights. There's a real concern, he said, that AI doesn't actually create anything on its own. It simply repurposes words and images made by real human beings, often without proper attribution. As history turns another page, the voice of the Church must rise again, not as an echo from the past, but as a compass for the future. In choosing the name Leo XIV, the new Pope is not only honoring a visionary predecessor, he is proclaiming that the Church must once again stand at the crossroads of faith and reason, tradition and innovation, humanity and technology. The challenges are many: artificial intelligence, growing inequality, spiritual emptiness in a hyper-connected world. But as Pope Leo XIII once reminded us, nothing is more useful than to look upon the world as it really is. And now, under the guidance of Leo XIV, the Church is being called to do just that, to see clearly, speak boldly, and lead wisely, because the gospel is not afraid of new things, and neither should we be. This is Covenant Chronicles. If this message stirred your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories at the intersection of faith and our modern world.